What is that sound? Alexa, shut up! I run a tight ship around here. Not scared of any robots. Hey, I'm really sorry to speak to you like that, by the way. If you guys are advanced beyond in your technology, please don't come to me. I'm just trying to impress my friends. Okay. What can I say? I mean business. Crank it up, baby! Yeah! There's a weird sort of discombobulated feeling that I'm feeling? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Full Circus. My name is Tristan and I'm happy to be here with you guys today. 257 episodes straight. Okay, 257 weeks we have conquered. We have come out here to continue to talk. Why? Because we love to. Or I love to, and you guys, love it or hate. Maybe you have an addiction to this. Maybe it's a bit of a masochistic feeling. You're like, I grew up with a very annoying little brother, and somehow he's filling that void. Because that's what I'm here to do, man. I'm here to stay, and I'm here to say that I talk, okay? I am just the king of conjunctions. And, okay, but, anyway, kind of, okay? The ruler of run-ons, the tyrant of tangents, the sorcerer of soliloquies. I love to talk, man. It feels great to me, okay? It feels like it. Speaking of feels like, what a beautiful segue. I saw just the other day, it was negative 30 degrees, okay? Or the feels like was negative 30. Actually, it was negative 7, okay? But I don't care about that. The feels like is all that matters. Why do we even use anything outside of the feels likeometer? If the app said it feels like 22, I don't want to, actually it's 40. I don't care. I don't need the exact science. My body only knows what it feels. Okay, I'm not cooking a steak. I'm not growing a garden. This is about comfort. And you can't fact check comfort. Feels like is the person that goes, man, it's really hot in here, huh? And the actual temperature is that person that says, it really isn't. The thermostat says it's 65. So, hey, shut up. The feels like is about the factors of real life. Or at least it feels like it. I'm a fan. That's how I use when people ask how cold it is. I go, yeah, it's about 17 degrees out. And they go, it says it's 32. Well, it feels like 17, does it? What more do you want? Personally, I'm a big fan. I think we start using the feels like for other measurements. Sure, officer, I know it says I was speeding, but does it feel like it? I know I'm an hour late, but it kind of feels like I was on time, doesn't it? I'm aware I've had 19 Rice Krispie treats, but I kind of feel like I would want them more. Kind of feels like accuracy is a waste of my time. Point is, it was cold, okay? Feels like that's all I need to say about that. But I finally got my trash taken out, and that might not sound like a big accomplishment to you guys, but it feels like one to me because they didn't come for 3 weeks. And I thought maybe that's just because of the temperature, all right? And at that point, they're like, it feels like it's too cold. And I was like, okay, well, look at the freaking stat. It's actually not. But it was. And it wasn't even because of the Bible fell. That's a bad omen. You raise me up so I can stand on your shelf. But anyways, it was actually because the driveway... We had this whole debacle with the order Walmart delivery and DoorDash and whatever, but they couldn't get cleanly to the cans. Now, I can't reiterate this enough. I shoveled plenty. This was an easy walkaway, and furthermore, I even wheeled the can out further so they didn't have to go up to get it. They still didn't take it. And it's not like I have a ton of garbage, being only one person, but for whatever reason, people keep chucking their trash into my trash bin. All right? And that does not feel fair. But it's all good now. We persevered, okay, through the cold, through the rush. They took care of the trash, so now I can throw away so much more. And then I could collect more, then continue to throw it away. And isn't that what life's all about? Cyclical garbage. You get things, you dispose of things, because you can never take anything with you to the afterlife. I believe that's what that book is really all about. Anyways, let's get to the nitty-gritty, shall we? What's my week been like? What's going on with me? All right? First off, rehearsals are great. Getting through a lot of these lines. I'm memorizing them, getting them down packed. Kind of. I'm a little nervous. All right, we are creeping up on showtime, and there's more than a few lines where you just look up and you're like, there's nothing there. And I'm glad that I can say that about the seats in the audience, because that could be a very embarrassing moment. Now, I'm the new guy okay, in this sort of world. I do performances plenty, but again, this is a whole other animal. Live performance. Memorizing the whole show. And I'm not like just dipping my toe into a guy who's only got 3 lines. I've got quite a few words to memorize. And I'm feeling it. Who knows if I'll crack under the pressure. Buy your tickets now if you would like to go check that out. We will see. If it does, at least it will make a good podcast story, because that's how you really like to live your life, with a lot of fodder. It's one of the keys to happiness. Collect fodder, dude. You can't collect trash. You can't collect things. You can't bring anything with you, but I like to believe you can bring fodder into the gates of heaven. You're like, get in here. What do you got? And I'm like, I got stories. Now, sure, you already know all of them, but you didn't get to feel it. You weren't there, Jesus, okay? Yes, you know all I've done and all I will do, but check this out. Watch, like, I'm gonna put on a show. You got to understand the physicality that I bring, that you gave me, Lord. Let me perform. If David danced for the Lord with all his might, let me, do some comedy. Let me sing your praises through the power of laugh. Laugh, Lord, laugh. But anyways, I hope I don't mess up, but if I do, there will always be something there. Also, another key to happiness, dude. I've been not writing them down, but I've been thinking about this like I'm some sort of wizard, a shaman of joy. It's a funny sentence. But I've been thinking about just little tips and tricks and little things that I see that I notice. And like, why do I do that? Where did I pick that up from? I'm not a big intellectual or a reader or somebody who philosophizes in any sophisticated sort of way, but I do find myself just coming up with rules and things that I do, and I have no idea where they originated, all right? I'm not well versed in the science of science. Like I said, I just went a whole tangent about how I'd rather not have any actual information. I'd rather just go off instinct and feel, because that's who I am, a very instinctual guy. I'm very intuitive. I'm one with my feelings and one with my notions. I'm one with my notions for sure. But one of the things I've noticed that I really enjoy, even if I'm having a bad day, is that if I walk past the mirror, and I always look at myself because it's important, but when I do that, I always make sure to see myself smile. And I noticed that the other day, and I was like, why do I do that? And for some reason, I think I view myself as a friend, and we can look at this in a different sort of scope. Maybe it's schizophrenic. I'm like, I'm another guy. I'm my own imaginary friend. Who am I talking to? It's sort of a Green Goblin thing, but I do look at myself genuinely in a very loving way, and not an arrogant way, except I'm the best of all time. But I look at myself as a friend, and I'm like, I really want to see my friend smile. Like you want to see your family and your friends, you want to see them succeed, and you want to be there, and you want to support, and you want to show up for them. I'm like, I got to show up for this guy, I got to make sure I take care of him physically, emotionally, mentally, and I want to see this guy in the mirror smile. And isn't that weird? Like an out-of-body experience, but I have control over that. And I don't need to tell him a joke. I just, contract my facial muscles, and all of a sudden I see him smile, and I feel better. I'm like, yeah, he's doing good. He's doing great. Where does that come from? So I catch myself doing that now as soon as that registered. I don't know how I ended up pointing that out to myself, but now every time I walk by a mirror, I make sure to see myself smile. Like, all right, he's hanging in there. He's doing good. He's doing great. I love that. I love that for you, man. I'm so glad. Even if my day's not going well, at least, my best friend, my brother, my man, my family, he's doing great. And then I go, wait a minute, that's me. Ha-ha. It's like I got envious of myself. I went, oh, if only I was having a great day like my boy. Wait a minute, I'm him, he's me. Whoa, we're happy. Yes, dude. And I get thrilled and I get stoked on joy. So that's a little tip. You guys can try that. I'm very curious as to where I'm picking these things up. It has to be a subconscious thing. I must have watched some sort of how-to DVD joy, manual, a script, something. I must have found a magazine, therapy. I don't know where it comes from, but it's been a real blast. So I'm having a great time. But furthermore, outside of rehearsals and having a great time with that, I just came back from there. It's currently 4 a.m. Yes, the rehearsals are all going great. The people are great. I'm loving it, not just for performance sake, but just, the community, the sort of talking, the yapping, having some fun, joking around. It's a good high to kind of ride off and come back in. I'm just like, all right, we're back to the world. Let's do some more and try and not get sidetracked. That's where I'm at right now. I'm a very ambitious and also sidetracked kind of guy, all right? Now, the things that I get sidetracked by, I think, are fascinating and super interesting. Other people might not think so. Like, oh, did he just go on a whole other quest to try and follow some guy around the park that was wearing rollerblades in the winter? Sure, but I was interested. Speaking of that, by the way, I had a nightmare the other night. Again, quick, this is a perfect example of sidetrack. I have things that I want to say, but let me do a quick little tangent. I had a nightmare the other day where I was in the apocalypse and zombies were coming for me, and they're killing my friends, my family, this whole community that we've built. We've been trying to survive, but they've gotten us, and it's sad and it's dark and it's scary. It's demonic. It's really like a terrifying dream. But I remember I was running down this alley, and a zombie was on rollerblades chasing me, and I was so terrified because he was going to catch me. So in the dream, I was so scared, and he catches me, and I snap awake, and the feeling of fear was immediately washed out by the feeling of amusement. Okay, because the idea, now that I was back safety in my own bed, I went, what a ludicrous concept. Like the zombie was rollerblading like some sort of 80s guy with a headband. And I thought, if zombies are real, if you get the virus, what do? It's not like the guy knows like how he's going to be able to unstrap and get rid of those double knots because you're laced in there. But I woke up just so happy about the idea of a zombie rollerblading. And I was immediately calmed down, and I was so thrilled. I sat there for probably about 5 or 10 minutes, like almost crying with laughter. I thought that was so funny. And I mean, what would you do? What can you do? What do you do? What if he's strapped into moon shoes? What if you got a zombie? Oh man, it brings me so much joy. And you know what? That's a little bit of happiness tip number 2, dude. Flip the darkness into the lightness. How? I don't know. I subconsciously, my brain isn't that interesting too. Thank you, Jesus. My brain was being attacked in REM cycle, and for some reason, it conjured up the most ridiculous thing it could think of in the darkness. Isn't that sweet? That's life, guys. That's life. So if you could figure out how to do that yourself, I've just been blessed. Again, it has nothing to do with me. I mean this in the least arrogant way possible, but I'm fantastic. So if you can figure out how to do that, it's magic, and it'll yield you nothing but joy. Now, where was I going? Yes, rehearsals are great. People are great. It's fun. Riding a high. That's pretty much it. I'm not too thrilled with the fact that we are shellacking my hair down. I know I'm acting. Okay, I know I'm supposed to be a character, but again, I find so much joy in seeing myself. And if I see my hair sort of combed down to the side, I go, that's not me. That's a dweeb. Not like, again, in the most humble way possible, I'm fly as all get out, okay? I'm sick. I'm down. I'm bad. I'm hip. I'm with it. Who's bad? I'm bad. I'm bad. You know it. But it's a bit inconvenient, friends and family like, let's come see the show, and they go, didn't realize you could do that. Didn't realize your hair could look so dweebish. It just hurts me to the core. It really does, guys. But what are you gonna do? That's acting. You feel bad. Somehow I'll have to twist that. We gotta conjure that up. Where's that rollerblading? In a world of darkness, be a rollerblading zombie. That's the new motto. That's the motto of the day. Okay, is it scary? Maybe, but it feels like it's silly. So, anyways, rehearsals are good. The biggest thing, I guess, of the week was my brother Nick and I, we went snowboarding for really the first time in a long time. I've been okay at it when I've done it, like, with the Walmart snowboards, down some kiddie little weeking park hills, okay, stuff like that. But I surf and skate a little bit, so there was like some carryover with those little tiny things, but this is the first time we've gone to a snow or ski resort because it's so expensive. It really is, for no good reason. I asked somebody if they want to have a snowball fight or go play in the snow or build a snowman, and they go, oh, of course not. That's childish. That's kiddie talk, Tristan. That's kiddie. Why would I play in the snow? And I say, would you like to play on snow on a mountain? They go, oh my gosh, for sure. We'll charge you $150 though. Come on. So we bit the bullet. We got up, and it was a blast. It really was. A lot of pain, okay? There was some soreness that I wasn't anticipating. You think about how powdery the snow is, but it's tamped down pretty strong. And again, I walk into everything that I do with full confidence. It's a problem of mine. It's gotten me far. At this point, though, it gotten me a face full of the ground and embarrassment because I just hop on my thing. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm like, instincts are going to kick in. They didn't. So I freaking 180, launch down the hill. I get about 3 to 4 inches. Face, I'm eating snow. And this continues for a good little bit until I sort of figure out the balance and how this sort of game works. But it's tough. It's tough. People ride right by you. No one asks how you're doing. They just go, you're not good. And you can't really talk back because they're already gone because they're so fast. So it was definitely an interesting time. You feel every single one of those falls, by the way, the next morning. You forget the embarrassment. You wave that off. You're like, get back up, keep moving. Get back up, keep moving. Why did we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves back up. Thank you, Alfred. So I keep moving, and I put the shame and the fall and the pain behind me. But when I woke up that next morning, again, thinking about some rollerblading zombies, I went, you know, I felt every bit of it. It kept a freaking tally, a log, a counter. Not a single fall was forgotten. So that was unfortunate. Need to go back with some pads next time, but it really was a super, super great time. However, the worst injury we got was they had shut down the smaller hill lift, okay, because we were there for so late. And we got to go up to the top of the mountain to some, you know, it's not Black Diamond or anything, but it's one or two before that. I don't know what the rankings are. However, we did not anticipate the ski lift going faster from one lift to the next. So you spend hours, you know, in a rhythm, in a certain groove. And this thing came around hot. And when you're on the lift with two snowboarders, you can't really, you know, you got to have the snowboard sideways, and there's not enough room, and this thing torqued the absolute piss out of both of our knees. So we're just like fumbling onto the ski lift as it's taking you up into the mountain. There's no seatbelts. You're like, oh! I was ready to just jump off, man. It hurt so bad. And then we bit it all the way down, which was just as fun and just as exciting and just as embarrassing as the previous hours. But it was good. It was good. I think we got a good grip on it. All the sort of muscle memory comes back into play. And I yearn for the slopes right now, man. I want to get back on it so bad. I want to spend so much money just to play in the snow. Why is it so much? I will say the most difficult part, and arguably the most embarrassing thing, is the dismount from the lift. Because you only have 1 foot locked into the snowboard, and everyone's watching you because they've been waiting to get carried up the mountain. Like, all right, another one goes, another one goes, another one goes, and wipe out! And you're trying to pick yourself back up, and it goes, all right, pause the lift for 1 second, crawling off to the side, you know, texting people that you're not as cool as you thought you were. Maybe you do deserve to have your hair styled down, but you move on, you make do. I don't know. It's unfortunate. There was a sweet deal to go to. It was like a quarter of the price. And we're like, oh, let's go tomorrow. The deal was gone. Shame. Anyways, it was really exciting. I'm thinking about that a lot, and I can't wait to get back out there. I have been thinking about interior decorating. I don't know if that's groundbreaking news, you know. One, interior, even if I did do some decorating, don't go, oh my gosh, tell me more. Okay, but the thought that I didn't even do it, but I've just been thinking about it, sizzling hot off the presses. What's going on? Breaking news. Did he think about doing something not interesting? Yes, I did. And here's my dilemma, guys. I got a lot of drywall space, all right? There's not much on the walls at all. All of my things, it's just a big mess of toys and fun and pictures and you know, everything, really. So I don't know what to fill the walls with. There's not, I don't know how to interior decorate. This is Candyland, right? How do you decorate to make it look like a living space? So I was trying to think of like art, like something that would be interesting, maybe a rollerblading zombie. That would be thought-provoking. I would see that and I think, why? And I think, oh, that's silly. Anything like that. But I was looking on Amazon, and yes, there's a lot of cool little artsy, and you know, you can find anything. Okay, well done, Bezos, you did it. You can find anything on Amazon. He got me to say it. I've been at a war. I've been holding out, but whatever. But I wanted to get something artistic, but you don't want to get something cookie cutter that just anybody can get. So I'm trying to go to an art show or an art gallery or buy some real local art and something unique, something that exists, one of one. But I don't even know how to do that. So I gave up, and the walls are still blank. But I just want to put it out there that I did try. Well, I thought about trying, and that's not really half the battle, but it's a quarter of the battle. And I could live with 25%. It's not a passing grade, but it's just enough that you went, oh, he started it. He didn't finish the race. He didn't get much out of the runner's stance. He kind of came up and went, this really isn't for me, you know? Sprinters, stances. Whew, pew. I stood up and was like, oh, everyone's really fast. This looks hard and tired. I'm going to go get a cookie. So, you know what? It's nice to be entered. It's nice to have like the little number. Like I got to be in the race, but I didn't finish it. I didn't really run it, but I thought about it for sure, and that's good enough for me. So if it comes back up again and people have suggestions on where to buy or get local art, or there's anything unique or something that's interesting, let me know. Guys, the amount of things that I memorize and how good my memory is, I can't say it enough. I'm sharp as a whip. Sharp as a tack. Quick as a whip. But there's some things, the things that I want to talk about for some reason, they completely escape me. And I think I'll write them down. I will. And then I don't, and I forget it. That's why they say that the ancient Chinese proverb that even pale ink is stronger than the strongest memory. I forget it. I should have written it down. But anyways, I'm going to start recording these episodes before 4 a.m. All right? I'm going to, and we're going to see if maybe I can dial it in. Maybe it's just because it's late. Maybe it's just because I'm hungry. And I told myself I'm not going to eat until after I do this. And I know this is just a rinky-dinky little show, and this is just something that we do, and we do it on 257 episodes. But I can't help it. I don't like to eat before I perform in any capacity. I think it's because I'll get the hiccups, and there's nothing more embarrassing than trying to make a point with a hiccup. You can't trust a guy with hiccups, and I've always said that, okay? If you're trying to seal a deal, a lawyer, a negotiator, real estate, I don't care. You're trying to do a drug deal, take 2 of these, and it's going to get you really right. I'm not doing it, okay? He's like, no, it's some of the pure stuff. Are there any side effects? No, you lie. I bet you get the hiccups. And that's my biggest fear, dude. It's the only reason I don't do drugs. It's because I'm so scared of getting the hiccups. It's embarrassing, and it's fraudulent, and it's deceptive. But anyways, so stay off the drugs, guys. Dare, don't get hiccups. What else is going on in the world? What was I talking about, dude? I can't... I just say words, man. I just start going, and then I disappear, and I just kind of clear the horizon of conversation. I'm like, where was, oh my gosh. You know, I feel like a kite, like a balloon that you just left off. And don't get me wrong, I'm soaring, okay, I am. But the direction, wherever I want. Point is, what? Yes, that I can't really eat before I do these things, and that's okay. So I'm really excited, and that's where my brain is right now, and I'm sorry for that. Speaking of AI, I know there's a whole Pepsi, Coke war and whatever, and I don't really drink pop anyway, so I've never been, no, it's one of these, it's one of these. What, you know, who really cares? But the people that do, I will say, I'm standing with Pepsi, full go from now on. So Coke used to do these whole big holiday commercial things. I catch myself doing this now, which I'm not too fond of, because Tristan shouldn't talk like this. The reason it's funny is because it's very over the top, and it's silly and ridiculous. But I'm fly, dude. I'm freaking sick with it, okay? I don't do this. I do this. Finger guns, okay? When people think of me, they think, you know, cool hand gestures, okay? They think of a cool guy. They don't see this. But anyways, Coca-Cola, they used to do these big, grand, fun holiday commercials, and they just, like, you know what we're going to do with AI now? They're just putting animators and people and story and script and all the people that go into animating a beautiful holiday commercial out of a job because they want to stick to AI, and that's disrespectful, and that's disgraceful. But Pepsi has decided to try and steer away from AI, and they took Coca-Cola's big polar bear that now they just AI, and they actually animated it and did a fun little thing, and it's really cool to see, and you know what? That's enough. Okay, that's enough. I saw a little bit of effort. I saw a little bit of humanity in a polar bear, and I'm sold. So I'm going to say out. Look, am I getting paid? Absolutely not. Jeff Bezos, am I getting paid? No, but I'll say Amazon has everything, and I'll say Pepsi is the way to go. So if you guys drink pop, go get Pepsi because they support art, and that's what it's all about. I think is there a new Disney CEO? The amount of research I do before I pose the question that, one, no one can even respond to, and then continue to give you zero details on will never not be amusing to me, okay? And as long as I can sit here and have fun, that's really the biggest point. But again, if I'm going to get into heaven, I'm going to do a silly little show, I can't be like, you know what, God, I feel like Disney had a... Wait. Did he? He's like, all right, okay, you did this whole big shtick. You said you were going to come up here and you were going to do stand-up for us and you were going to entertain the angels and you don't really feel like you're prepared. Like, hold on. So, wait. I'll be right back, okay? And I got to come back down here and I got to type it up and then, you know, it's a whole freaking big thing. And imagine the travel, okay? And I don't know if what kind of miles to the gallon my car's getting spiritually. So anyways, that's a problem. But I think Disney's new CEO or whatever, he has just spoken out that they're trying to return to hand animation and less AI, which I'm just stoked on, okay? Don't get me wrong, I'm a free spirit, but anything when it comes down to keeping more free, real spirit in art gets me stoked, man. It's kind of like snowboarding all over again. I feel like I'm snowboarding through positivity, and I'm not falling once. Anyways, guys, I think that's pretty much all I have to talk about. There's been some dead air. There's been some chunks. There's been a little bit of, acid reflux. I've been burping sometimes. I probably cut it all out, so you don't know about it. So I might cut me saying that out, unless that's more embarrassing. Then I'll just leave it in. I don't know. I'll think about it as I go and get a real good snack. So, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I love you to itty bitty pieces. And if you're feeling like life's dark and you're feeling like it's sad and you're feeling like, the apocalypse of life, of zombies are coming for you, just remember there's a rollerblading zombie. There's a zombie out there on rollerblades, okay? And how's he going to take them off? He can't. He has to rollerblade and try and catch people. And how silly is that? I can die knowing there's silliness in the world. If I see a zombie and my doom is on moon shoes, hey, I lived a life worth living. Guys, thank you so much. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Happy. Damn.